Hey, what's going on? Strat Soldier here for the weekend shift. It was crazy. It was a crazy week for politics. It was a crazy week for the market. It's gonna be really crazy looking at these charts today. But we're gonna look at quarterly charts. We're gonna look at monthly charts. We're gonna look at weekly charts. We're gonna be looking for those actionable signals and where we can get in. This is the weekend shift. I'm the Strat Soldier. Let's get to it. What's going on? How you doing? My camera's a little crooked right here. There you go. All right. my camera didn't drink its V8 this morning. Let's see here. Let's pop out the chat. We got some people in here. Always. Thank you so much for being patient. I had a little bit of technical difficulties. But we got them fixed. That's what we do. That's what we do in the Strat. We have plan A. This is what's going to happen. This is how we're going to do it. This is our entry. This is our stop. And if things aren't working, we readjust on the fly. All right. We don't just go, well, it didn't work. I guess I'll just close my laptop. No, we don't do that. Before we get into the charts and see who's out there in the chat, I definitely want to show you guys the combat load. The combat load is available out there at thestratsoldier.com. We got one user already in there. I said user, but we got a new student in there that just got the combat load. The best thing about the combat load is it's everything that's on the website. Everything, to include a one-on-one with me to make sure that you are on track. All right, everything. And then I got a new course coming out. It's almost done. I mean, it's right there. And when it's done, it's going to go into that bundle. So Martha is going to get it for free. All right, essentially. All right, she got the combat load. It's going to go into that bundle, and then bam, she's got it. She doesn't have to keep purchasing stuff. All right. And the biggest thing I want to remind you is that the Strat Camp is not another subscription service. All right. There's a lot of crap. You're going to be subscribing to crap from now until January 30th, because your kids are going to get all these new games, and then you see some new things, and then you renew that gym membership and all that stuff. There's going to be all kind of subscriptions. All right. The Strat Camp is not another subscription. Get in, get your execution course, get the combat load, and you can keep going through that, and you always have email access to me so that you can get your questions answered. I always say it backwards. I always say answers questions. Whatever, I always do it backwards. What's going on out there in the chat? We got Ryan out there. We got Michael O'Connor. That's such a cool name. Michael O'Connor. We got Brent out here. We got Gulliver's Travels. Brent, thank you so much for joining me on the the wake up call. Thank you so much for joining me on that. That's always fun. Get everybody going. Gulliver, message retracted. Let's see here. Retro Reels. What's going on? Martha B is in the house. Gulliver says, can anyone speak to the significance of the 2 outside weeks in a row on Riot? Riot. There's a riot going on. Let me see here. Let's do that. Let's get the charts. We're going to get the charts going here just a second, but let me get it going on TrendSpider. TrendSpider has a huge sale going on right now. 75% off. Holy crap. There's a link in the chat, or a link in the description. 75% off. My goodness. But Riot. Let me take some notes here. I've been trying to take notes so that I'm not forgetting what you guys want to talk about, because I'll just start talking. You know me. Riot. We're going to talk about Riot. All right. We're going to talk about Tesla reversal on the year, 2-2 on the year. We're going to look for monthly and weekly setups as well. That's always a part of the show, so I don't need to take a note on that. We got, man, how do you say that? Oh, yeah. I want to say Muskrat, but it's not Muskrat. It's Brent. Can you see this name? Brent's really good. Brent knows I can't read good, so he'll go, all right, I need to help him. What is his screen name? Mac? I'm calling you Mac. Macanocrat. I'm calling you. Ooh, Mac. I'm calling you Mac. All right, Mac. That's your name. Sorry. Your name's Mac now. Until Brent can put it in there phonetically how you say this thing. And then we got Beatrice in the house. See, Brent helped me with Beatrice last week. You know what I mean? So I need Brent to help me out with this one. We got the quintessential dad out here. What's up? What's up? How you doing? Talking about being a dad, I swear. Call of Duty, I understand Call of Duty. You run around, you got objectives, you have normal weapons, you get it done. Fortnite, I do not understand. I don't understand it at all. And you know, I kind of don't want to understand it, because why are we building stuff halfway through the fight? I don't get it. But my kids love it. All right, and I'm not going to fight them on it. I'm going to go upstairs and do the show. You play Fortnite while I'm doing this. I'll be back. Quintessential dad, you know what I'm talking about. Rhymes with technocrat. Yeah, that makes it so much easier. But Mac at the beginning. Macrocrat, right? All right, I'm gonna say macrocrat. I think that's what it is. Macrocrat. Looking at the macro charts, I suspect. So again, we're gonna look at 2-2 reversal on the year. And if you actually do look at macro charts, that's awesome, because I am a tank. I want to go for stuff that's on the quarterly and the yearly charts. I don't have to worry about jumping in and out and all that crap. I don't want to jump in and out and work it for 15-20 minutes and then see if it's still good. No. I want to get in on something and stay there. I am a tank. I want to create that winning position, stay there, and then kill it till it's dead. Fire for effect. Go. Keep firing until there's a reason for us to stop. Let me see. Let me make sure my sounds are going on. Yep, there they are. There they are. My sounds are working. All right, good. All right, Macrocrat, awesome. And then Bien Cruz is in the house. Bien is in the house. Good morning. It's funny. I was cutting up video for the new course, and I talked to you a lot on that last one. You know what I'm talking about. I don't want to spoil it for everybody else, but I said your name a lot because Bien, though, she knows what's going on. She don't mess around. She don't let me get away with too much silliness. She's like, come on, get to the charts, do it. I got things to do. And Macrocrat says, we know that a 3-1-1-1-1-1-1-1 is not a thing. That's from an interview that I posted last night on Twitter with me, Ryan Faluna, and Rob Smith himself, the creator of the Strat. And Rob says himself, like, yeah, 3-1-1 is not a thing. Stop it. We got so many people out here claiming to, hold on, let me do it in the right spirit of things. We got people out here wanting to trade things that are stuck inside. All right, it's stuck. 3-1-1-1-1-1. What are you doing? Well, it's consolidating. It's a symmetrical triangle. Okay, all right. I can't deny that it is stuck. But let's just wait. Let's not get in yet. Let's wait for it to go either 2 up or 2 down before we start messing around with this thing. Stop trading stuff that's stuck. All right. Yes, that's right. And I got 1 more minute on the intro, and then we're going to get to it. If you got me on the big screen, again, I am the Strat Soldier. We're going to go through the charts. We're going to have fun. If you got me on the big screen, don't worry about it. This is a family show. There ain't going to be no wordy dirds. And you don't have to worry about, turning the TV down real quick or shutting it off or none of that crap. All right. I don't mess around with that stuff. I want everybody to be able to understand this and have fun and be comfortable with me being on the screen. All right. These charts look so much better on the big screen, I swear. There's a lot of people, I watch myself on the phone. I'm like, this is tiny. I'm trying to blow it up as big as I can. I don't know. But that's all I want to say. So thank you so much, everybody being out here. Thank you so much. Let's get to it. Oh, Gatekeeper. I see you out here now. Good morning, all. Gatekeeper. So let's get to it. Let's get to the charts. All right, when I trade, I got all 4 time frames up like this, just like Rob did. All right, I got the month, the week, the daily, and the 60-minute. All right, 60-minute chart. If you have TrendSpider, they like to look at the 65-minute chart. If you want to look at the 65-minute chart, you can drop down to 65 minutes. Why 65 minutes? Because it'll give you an even amount of bars throughout the day. If you go to the 60-minute chart, if you go to the 60-minute chart, it'll give you the last 30 minutes. They'll call it an hour, but it's really only 30 minutes. And TrendSpider's like, wait a minute. If we adjust fire on that, you will get an even amount of candles. All right. So that's unique to TrendSpider. All right. And that still works with the Strat. How and why? It still works because Rob always used to say, wait till, you want to, wait, it's the flip. Now wait like 10 minutes, wait 5 minutes, wait. You know what I mean? You definitely want to take things that are in force as soon as the flip happens. But I mean, just wait, right? On things that are like, because some things will like, consolidate for a second and then move. You know what I mean? You got that 5 minutes. That 65-minute chart will help you do that waiting. It'll do the waiting for you, so to speak, because it's 65 minutes. So you're waiting while everybody else's candle started right at the bottom of the hour. Yours is going to start 5 minutes after, which is still going to help you get in on stuff that's already in force. I was working with a trader earlier this year, and they were talking about, well, if you try to take stuff that triggers right at the bottom of the hour, it could go up, come back down, it'll be wonky for a little bit, and Rob did teach, if it's in force on the 60-minute, you can drop down to a 5-minute chart and then wait for that little triangle layout, little TTO, and then trade it while it's back into the green, all right, while it's in force. So, but that 65-minute chart kind of takes care of that for you, so to speak. So that's the 65-minute chart with TrendSpider. But here's the 60s, all right? 60-minute is a major time frame, and what we want to do in the Strat is look for confirmations, all right? Look for the confirmation of buyers and sellers. We're looking for the aggression of buyers and sellers, excuse me. And what we are looking for is confirmation of that aggression. All right. So we got buyers on the month now. Okay. We got buyers on the month now. We have buyers on the week now. Here's your days. All right. Here's the days. Buyers in here for the last 3 days. Really good. Really, really good. We got people out here talking about, well, it's time to short stuff because it can't go any higher. It can't go any higher. Well, it keeps going higher. All right. It keeps going a lot higher. So be careful. Be careful. Don't short things without actionable signals. All right. Don't if the person that you're following somewhere else says it's time to start fading it, get away from them or mute him because there's no actionable signals here yet. All right, for that. So be careful. And then looking at your 60s, here you go. Here's your 60s moving up. So every time, anytime the month, the week, the day, and the 60s were all green, this thing was full time frame continuity to the upside. All right. Full time frame continuity. Time frame continuity is like the weather. It's always there. Either it's all confirming or it's like partly cloudy. We call that conflict. All right. So
time frame continuity.
Time frame continuity is always there. All right. Always there. Now you can say everything's blasting. There's no way I can get in here. Because I heard a lot of news on Bloomberg about how the market's, raging and it's at all-time highs and it just keeps going higher. All that news is true, but where did the move happen? Oh my goodness! Thank you so much. Thank you for the super chat, Sand Dollar. Thank you so much. He says, "Oh man, I gotta stop what I'm doing. That's the rules. If you use the super chat, I gotta stop what I'm doing and talk about what you want to talk about." Thank you so much, Sand Dollar. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And he got that nice cup of Joe right here, just like I got that nice cup of Joe. So for the normal trader. For the normal, average, everyday trader, which I believe I am talking to, you didn't get in on any of this, all right? Because we don't buy calls or a bunch of futures contracts before a major news event. We don't do it before the earnings. We don't do it before, right now, we don't do it for a CPI or PPI or any kind of news data that's coming out. We don't do that. There's other traders out there that do. If they want to do that, that's fine. I'm not preaching that here, and I'm not going to perpetuate that, I guess. I'm not going to do that. Why? Because it's gambling. It's gambling. All right. Everybody who woke up to bought contracts and it worked, good for them. All right. Shout out to the gamblers. All right. All you did was just put another coin in the bag that says gambling works. All right. But guess what? I was talking to another trader earlier this week about this. Because they're like, well, I should have just held the calls. I should have just bought them. I knew it was gonna go the other way, and I knew no, you didn't. No, you didn't know. All right, it was the biggest guess anybody, the entire nation was like guessing who's gonna win. All right, so and we all voted on it. All right, so to buy a bunch of calls or buy a bunch of contracts thinking it was going to go the other way, you would have had to have, or you could have had the same amount of, there are the same amount of people that bought calls that bought puts, all right? Or they bought contracts to the downside on futures. There are, and no one's talking about them, all right? No one's talking about them. And they woke up that next day with negative positions, all right? Worthless contracts, all right? Worthless options contracts or futures contracts that are completely in the hole, like bad, all right? The only option they had was cut those contracts, cut those options, move on. Hopefully they're still not holding them. Please, if you are in a negative position because you got in because you're expecting this thing to be the market drop, and you're waiting these 3 days to see if it's going to reverse, please cut that stuff. Flip to the other side or wait. Just wait, because once this thing gets to 600, we'll see what happens. All right, we'll see if the buyers had enough and it drops to the other side. We will see, but we're not going to do anything until those actionable signals show up and then they go in force. Then you can start shorting stuff. All right, then you can say, yes, everybody got what they wanted. Everybody got what they wanted. Now everybody's taking profits. All right. And the reason why you'll get something like this, all right, I'm not trying to. All the charts look the same in the broader averages, so I'm not cheating you guys out of looking through the broader averages, because everything looks the same, all right. So I know some of you guys are like, wait a minute, he's only talking about SPY. Give me a second here. Give me a second. I'll make this one yellow so we can still see it. This is all Trend Spider, easy tools, all right. Here's my imaginary candle. All right, here's my imaginary candle on the daily chart. All right. The reason why this happens, why this could happen, is because I bought this thing way down here. It gets up here and it reverses to the downside. All right. I sold at 598. All right, and then Beatrice, she sold at 569. And then Bien, she sold at 593. And then Brent and Sand-Dollar, they sold, they both of them are scalpers, and they did all kind of craziness in here. And now they're, either they're going to the downside but I'm saying if they went long, they're selling, all right? And then everybody else has to sell as well, because, hey, I'm not going to lose money. I got in way down here, or I got some winning positions in here. It's time to sell, all right? So this happens because everybody had enough and they're getting out, all right? That's how this situation could happen. That's why we don't trade two continuations up. We look for the reversal into something like this. You look for the reversal on the 60-minute chart. You look for the reversal on a smaller time frame to get in on something that's just blast into the highs, all right? Because at any moment, this could happen, all right? This type of situation is called exhaustion risk, all right? Exhaustion risk happens. True exhaustion risk happens when, look, there's no more stops to be taken out. This is SPY on the month. These are monthly charts. There are no more stops to be taken out. None. All right? Completely jammed with buyers. All right? Exhaustion risk. It's not, it's because it's at the top of the broadening formation, there's no more stuff to be taken out. Doesn't mean it can't keep going. All right, so that's why we're not talking about fading. That's why we're not talking about, trying to sell stuff that's, to the lows, or, trying to short stuff as it's going up, because it can't go any higher. Then it goes higher. Then what? Right? Sand dollars in the house. He gets it. He gets it. All right. So be careful. Be careful. All the charts pretty much look the same. Again, how can you get on something that's just ripping to the highs? All right. You got a 3-2 up here. You got those were hourly charts. What'd you have the day before? You got this guy down here. You can work. Let's see here. These are 60-minute charts. All right. You could have got in on this. Let me highlight it so you guys can see. And we'll change this box back to yellow so you can see. All right. Ugh, you can't see that. Change it so I can see it. Ew. All right, let me see. Let's try this. Let's try that. All right, that's better. All right. So, turning the labels on for the kids in the back. How can I get in? How could I have gotten in on something that's just ripping to the highs? All right. You can look for these reversals. All right. Here's a 2-1-2 reversal up. Now it triggered, came back in. But if you had your stop down here at 588, you'd have been okay. You'd been okay. It's still in. It continues to the highs. All right. Does not stop you out. Good. All right. Good. And then it keeps moving. All right, and then now you have a 3-1-2 reversal up. All right, that means they sold it down, bought it up. The next hour consolidates. The second hour, excuse me, this is the end of the day. This is the end of the day. So 2 o'clock. Here's 3:30. Day's over. Next day, 3-1-2 reversal up. All right, it opened up. The day opened up at 596.16, and then started moving up. So it pretty much like blasted. All right. But you would add a few minutes after the bell to position this, all right, to get in on this. But this is a 3-1-2 continuation up. 3-1-2 continuation up, and that's how you can get in on something that's just ripping to the highs. And this works because it's full time frame continuity to the upside. All right. All right. There's a really good story about Kobe Bryant. Hold on. There's a really good story about Kobe Bryant, and there's a coach. You know, Kobe Bryant's already playing for the Lakers. He's already won so many championships. He's doing great. And one of the coaches wanted to come see him. You know, he's just a random guy, random coach. Hey, I want to come see what you do because you're the best, and it would be really cool to be able to see what Kobe Bryant does. You know, one of the best. And he goes, all right, cool. I work out at 4 a.m. Here's my gym. Come see me. All right, fine. So the guy shows up at 4 a.m. Kobe, he starts his workout, starts doing his thing. All right, 2 hours in the gym. All right, takes a break, eats some breakfast, and then 2 hours on the court. All right, just Kobe Bryant doing his thing. All right, his practice. Practice is over. All right, now that's 4 hours. At 4 a.m, he ends at 8 o'clock. I'm just now waking up at 8 o'clock. Wow. Anyway, and then that Kobe was like, all right, that's the workout. What'd you think? And the coach looks at him and goes, everything you just did on the court was what I show my 10-year-olds. All you did was just do the fundamentals. And Kobe said, yeah, that's right. That's why I'm the greatest. And that's how that conversation ended. That's why he's the greatest. So it was not going to help me to sit here and tell you guys all these weird ways you can get in on stuff and look for fair value gaps that are not there, and show you some weird voodoo stuff with squiggly wigglies and all these extra lines. No, here's this Strat. How can you get in on something that's just blasting to the highs? Drop down to a smaller time frame and look for actionable signals. 3-1-2 continuation up. That's how you could do it on SPY. And if you found any other stock you wanted to get in on that was just ripping, that's how you could have done it. All right. That's how you could have done it with Tesla. That's how you could have done it with everything just blasting to the highs the last 3 days. Not everything, but most. All right. That's how you can get in. I'm going to consistently teach you the fundamentals until you master it. Then you're going to go off, find some other stuff to do, and then when it gets weird, you'll come back to the basics, and that's good. All right, that's good. You'll come back to the basics. You always have that baseline knowledge of, all right, I went and tried some weird stuff. It worked for a little bit, but I'm coming back to what I know to be true. This thing is, there's no reason why I should be shorting this thing. There's no actionable signals, for example. All right. So the fundamentals of the Strat, always going to stick to that. All right. All right, here we go. So that's it. That's SPY. Dow Jones, pretty much the same thing. This thing goes outside month to the upside, outside week to the upside. QQQ. This was really interesting. Compound 1 bar red strat right here. Here is your 3-2 up on the week, and then on the month it goes 2 up on the month. But what I want you to see here is all this consolidation that we're tracking. Go watch last week's show. I was talking about doing nothing. All right. So trading sideways, inside bar. All right. If all these bars were 1 bar, inside bar. Take down, takes out the lows, and then rips to the highs. All right. This, if all these bars were 1 bar, would be a scenario 3. Takes out the lows and takes out the highs. That's a compound rev strat, 1 bar rev strat. All right. 1 bar rev strat, 1, 3. And if you are in, if you like to trade with 8x, you are going to be looking for what he calls the Nirvana play. Their Nirvana play is, and I know he'll correct me if I'm wrong, but it's 1, 3, 2. All right. The reason why he wants this is because he knows who the most aggressive participation group is. The buyers. All right. The buyers. 1, 3. Now that is an aggressive strategy. It's not for everyone, but daggone it, 8x is pushing the Strat forward with his own original, hey, this is what we like to do. This is what we do. We also keep our stops. He uses invalidation points, but they are moving the Strat forward with their own original ways of trading. So that's awesome. Awesome for them. QQQ, XLK Tech does the same thing. Inside bar, and then scenario 3, 1, 3. All right, so we'll see what they want to do there. Going through small cappers really quick because I'm going over time on broader averages. We finally got out of this level of reclaim. If you watched my Twitter, I posted a video last night of this level of reclaim and everything's stuck in here. Now Marlon B can be happy that his small cappers are out of this nasty little range. All right, just stuck in here. Finally broke out of this range. All right, very good. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2 reversal up. Boom. All right. Hopefully he's still working that in there somewhere. Small cappers. UVXY. This thing did drop, which is great, but I did not get in on this. I did not. Because it's not really just fallen. It did take out all the lows. UVXY has been really messy. I've not been touching it. Have not been messing with it. This was an interesting situation here. Again, this goes up as the VIX goes up. The market was just blasting. All right. And then this is Friday where the market's just going, where VIX is going up because everybody's going, it can't get any higher. It can't. So the VIX, people start buying put options to protect their positions. And then the last 2 hours of the day, they were like, well, I guess it can go higher. So and then UVXY drops. But anyway, and so does the VIX. But anyway, utilities, moving to the highs, potential 2-2 reversal up. XRT retail finally out of this mess. Oh, what is it? Still, it hit the top. It hit top of that mess. Hopefully it continues and stays out of that crap. We already talked about tech, XLE, everything pretty much looking the same. All right, 2-2 reversal back up on the week. Pivot machine gun through all of this. Inside on the month. IBB, biotechs. Here's that hammer in force that we were looking for. Hammer in force. Right above 143.44. Go watch last week's show. We did talk about that. Blasting through all these targets, trying to get to 150. All right. trying to get the 150, 2-2 reversal up on the month. Healthcare, 2-2 reversal back up on the week. Still really nasty inside there. All right, XLP, potential 2-2 reversal back up on the week. And then shaking my head, semiconductors, 3-2 up. We'll see what they want to do there inside on the month. What I was saying is when everything's green, go where the buyers are. Go where the buyers are. Nike. What color is the charts? Just, all right, start putting it in the chat. What colors are these charts? Who is in control of Nike? The buyers or the sellers? Put it in the chat. Who is in control of Nike? The buyers or the sellers? Waiting on you. Get to your keyboard. Get to your phone. Who is in control of Nike? Everything else blasting to the highs. It's red. Michael O'Connor says it's red. Gatekeeper says it's red. Gulliver says it's in conflict. I'll give you that, Gulliver. And Retro Real says the Bears. All right. This thing is full-time. Well, hold on. I can't say full-time frame continuity to the downside. Thank you so much, Gulliver. You're right. This was green. All right. But there's sellers on the month, sellers on the week. All right. Look at this downtrend on the days. All right. And then look at your 60s. Everything, that's right. The entire chat is saying sellers. All right. Well, hold on. The entire chat is saying sellers because over here on the weekend shift, we know what buys and sells look like. All right. And you should be able to know that at a glance. All right. You should be able to know what they're doing at a glance. And right now, Nike not doing it. This is just an example of not everything was going to the highs. All right, go to where the buyers are. All right, Nike's not on discount. Nike's getting wrecked. Nike is getting wrecked. All right, so I talked too much. I'm over my next section of the my next portion of the show. If you wanna support the weekend shift, go down to get in the live chat. Go down to right here. Here's a little tip jar right here. It's there's other stuff in there. There's big ones, there's little ones, there's $2 ones, there's some big ones. But right there, hit the super chat. Anything you want to talk about, whether put your actionable signals in there. I'll stop what I'm doing so I talk about your actionable signals. But it's pretty much just a tip jar. So there you go. And right now we are going to look for actionable signals for next week. I'm back. Right before we get to those actionable signals, let's look at the news with Empowerment Assets. Let's do it.
Hey, how you guys doing? This is Cardave at Empowerment Assets LLC, and I'll be breaking down a news calendar for the month of November 2024. Wow, what a month of October. A lot of things transpire. But moving into November, we have the presidential election. We have Donald Trump against Kamala Harris. We're going down to the finish line. We're a few days away. No matter who you vote for, ladies and gentlemen, no matter what president gets in office, they're going to shape the economy moving forward, the next 4 years or the next 8 years. We had a lot of tech earnings. Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon. Wow. Amazon had a great earnings period. It beat EPS and it beat revenue. Amazon took off to the upside, which is a great sign that the economy is doing pretty well. People are still spending. So I want you guys to pay close attention as we move forward to the rest of the month of November. We have the Fed. They have to make a decision after a press conference. If they're going to keep rates the same, they're going to raise the rates, or they're going to drop the rates. This is very important. Keep your eyes on Powell. Moving forward into the rest of the year, we got other things that's going to transpire. We have multiple meetings. We got to keep our eyes on the oil supply, not just here in America, but globally. We got to keep our eyes on OPEC. We got to make sure that we know what's going on between the oil transaction in the Middle East, the oil transaction in the United States of America, Venezuela, and so many other countries. So the news for this month should be very, very important. Presidential election, ladies and gentlemen. Let's keep our eyes on that. And keep your eyes on my weekly picks. My name is Cardave at Empowerment Assets LLC. You can follow me on YouTube. You can follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on TikTok, Empowerment Assets LLC. Enjoy.
Very good, very good. Well, we know the election, the outcome of the election, everything back to the highs. So Sandollar did use that super chat. He was the very first one. Oh my goodness, thank you so much, Brian. He wants to look at Duke. Give me Duke. He says, give me Duke. Sandollar was first. Sandollar was first, so I have to give Sandollar, and then Brian's gonna be next. He's next. So we're gonna look at RTX. All right, just relax, Strat soldiers. Just say the words, say the letters. I get so excited. Let's see here. All right, we got buyers on the month. We cannot call that a hammer yet because it's not closed yet. All right, but right now the shooter did go in force, but now it came back up. We are looking for a potential 2-2 reversal up on RTX. The most difficult ticker in the world to say, RTX. And the first target, that's going to go in force at 124. The first target's going to be 125, and the full magnitude is going to be 128. Oh my goodness. What's that cause? Right here, if both of those targets get taken out, it's going to blow through all of these targets right here on the daily chart. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we do. Sam Dowder, thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Here is RTX. Beautiful, beautiful movement to the upside. Let's go see what this thing's doing on the quarterly charts. What's it doing? I mean, I can guess. Just looking at the monthly chart, you can guess what this thing's doing on the quarter. All right. Oh my goodness. Are there buyers here? Yes. Let's look at the year. All right, I know we only have a couple months left, about 2 months left, but 2-2 reversal up on the year. All right, does the strat work on all time frames? Yes. 2-2 reversal up on the year.
That was legitness.
All right, that's what we want to see. That's the stuff we want to put our money in. We're not trying to find some stuff that's at the bottom of the barrel, trying to dig around, trying to eat out of the trash. I don't eat out trash. That's not my thing. Brian's next. So we'll put that on the weekly watch list for next week. Let's put it on the weekly signals. What is on the weekly signals? Thank you. Thank you. Get off of here now. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see here. What is on there? Let's go to we looked at weekly signals. We had ACAD. Did that work? Yes, it did, to the highs. Beautiful. 3-1-2 reversal up. Amazing. All right, amazing. Yes, we talked about that last show. APLS, outside. There's a 1 bar ref strat again, inside and up. All right, inside, outside bar to the upside. APLS, it worked. Guild, Momo Hammer in force. It worked. All right, it worked. And it worked even before the election. All right, you could have been in on that before the election. IBB. So I said I was going to go through and find out what IBB stocks were working in that. I couldn't find too many. But XRT, daggone it, RTX. We're going to slow down. Let's edit this thing real quick, and then we're going to go look at Brian, what he wants to look at for Duke Energy. All right, so here we go. If you have this weekly signals chart, yours just got updated at home. All right, and then by the end of the show, you'll have a whole new list. All right, so Brian wants to look at Duke. Give me Duke. Duke Energy. I used to work with a guy named Duke. Duke. Right here. I want to see buyers in here, but it's we'll see. We do have a nice trend up. Potential 2-2 reversal back up. That's not really a hammer, but is a potential 2-2 reversal back up in Duke. It goes in force above 114.25, and the first target is 118. All right, that's $4. That's some good magnitude right there. That's what I'm talking about. And if it goes through all of this, all right, the highs of that is 120. All right, 121. All right. So Duke Energy, got to have your lights. Got to have your lights. And then got to have, if you're full electric, got to have your stove. Got to have your heat. Duke Energy. All right. Duke. All right, and then let's go look at Duke on the quarter and the year, just because quarterly doing a little red, but still doing good, still in that uptrend. All right, and there's that level of reclaim on the quarterly above 103.99. It's still good. All right, yearly chart. All right, 322 up on the year. All right.
The 322.
All right. It's already hit magnitude, went up a little bit more, and then, but it's still good on the year. All right. So Brian, you're in a good position here. All right. Wait for this thing to go in force on the week before you just jump in. Don't do that. But if you want to buy some shares, that's what I suggest. Just because Duke Energy is not going to move very fast. Utilities don't move fast. These are defensive positions. This is where the market. This is where the institutional buyers hide their money. All right, they don't really want to get out. They want to hide their money. Sand Dollar. Thank you so much, Sand. I like this little sticker guy. Thank you so much, Sand Dollar. Look at him. He's working out, boy. Getting it in. Thank you, Sand Dollar. Thank you. Let's see here. Mr. Softy, Marlon B says, Mr. Softy, I am in Mr. Softy. You know what? 2 points to you, 200 points to you for the Mr. Softy reference. Heck yeah. Potential 322 back up.
The 322.
All right, potential there. And the magnitude on that is above 427.24. The magnitude is 438.50. All right, 438.50, and it's kind of trading sideways on the month. All right, so Microsoft, it's a big boy. All right, Microsoft is not doing a whole bunch, but when it moves, it moves. All right, I'm in shares in this. All right, I suggest you buy some shares, but if you trade options, again, wait for that thing to go in force before you just jump in on it. I'd rather see this thing be red, a green month, and we like long red and green bars, because anything that's green tends to get greener. Anything that's red tends to get redder. But Microsoft, not dead in the water, still good. All right, still good. Marlon B, thank you so much. Thank you, Brian. Good job, Brian. Marlon B. That was Marlon B. Thank you so much, Marlon B. Let me see here. YouTube wants me to celebrate Brian's first ever super chat on the live stream. Thank you so much. Anybody else? Just because I can. Yeah, thank you so much. Anybody else? We're gonna keep going through the signals, but I mean, is anybody else? Throw your tickers in there. Throw them in there. Type them in there. We're gonna look at Tesla while I'm waiting for some more tickers in there. Tesla to the highs. Oh my goodness. Beautiful. All right. Yes, there was this gap up. All right. And you can go, oh man, I missed it. But if you are here on the weekend shift, that's not how we talk. All right. We look for those actionable signals. Get me in. It's working. I want to get in. What's the easiest way to get in on that? Look for actionable signals on a smaller time frame. If you just watch the 60s, all right, these are 1 hour charts. 212 reversal up at 285.44. You can't get any higher than that. Here it is at 288.88. All right, here's that rev strat again. All right, here's that rev strat again. One inside. Scenario 1 and then a 3. All right. And then here's that Nirvana play that I talked about from 8X, all right? That 132. That's what they like to do. And then it can't get any higher. So it starts trading sideways like this. Then what to do the next day, November 8th at 299. 212 reversal up. All right. 212 continuation up. All right. Continuation up. 212 continuation up. Blasting. Can't get any higher. Strat Soldier, I'm missing it. It can't go any higher the next day on Friday. All right, at 318.99. That's how you get in. All right, our actionable signals are hammers, shooters, inside bars. All right, gets all the way up to 328. 328. People are like, they can't get any higher, so they start selling a little bit. That's fine. All right, Tesla is still good. Still good. And if you got in, I was already in way down on the 2-2 reversal back up on the month. But if this was your first one, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's say entry. All right. Bam. Let's make it, give me bottom. There's no center. I wish there was a center. Top, right? Let's see what top says. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Well, I got a little cursor. And hold on. Let me set it up. Doesn't take too long. Let's see. Bam. All right, here we go. All right, so you got in at 285. This is after this huge gap up. You get in at 285. No reason to get out. All right, you set your stops. You don't get stopped out. At 289.56, that's your add. All right, let me move my big old head. There you go. I'll do that. I'll move my big old head. Get your head out of the way, being said. Get out of the way. All right, here we go. Right here, here's your entry. Here's your add. All right, 299. Here's your next add. All right, here, 318. There's your next add. Even if you get stopped out on this, all right, or it goes up to 328, 329, and you don't take your profits. You can still stay in. You don't get stopped out. You can still be holding this. All right, even if the price comes down after this on Monday, you still got to, you get stopped out. You still made some pretty good money. All right, this is how you do it. And it all starts by looking at what's happening on the month, what's happening on the week, what's happening on the days. I am never going to tell you to do something on the 60-minute chart because it might trigger the daily chart, and because it might trigger the weekly chart, because it might trigger the monthly. That's not what Rob. You can trade the strat like this. You can. All right. You can do that. But I'm not going to tell you to do that, all right? Because I want to know the buyers are actually in there, all right? I want to know this is for real. So I'm looking for reconfirmations, all right? I want the week to reconfirm what I'm seeing on the month. I want the day to reconfirm what I'm seeing on the week, and I want these 60s to reconfirm what I'm seeing on the day that they're buying it today, all right? That's what I want to see. Tesla, my goodness, all right? Look at the quarter. All right, we knew that was happening. We already knew that was happening. Now let's look at the year. 2-2 reversal back up on the year. The magnitude, does this stuff work on any time frame? Yes. 2-2 reversal back up on the year. The magnitude is 402.81. 402.81. Just going to get up there and they're going to go, can't go any higher than that. Then it's going to go. All right, let's just watch. All right, let's just watch. All right, but it's going to get up to 411.36, and they're going to say can't get any higher than that. All right. Yes, exhaustion risk is a real thing, but we're not afraid of it. We are not afraid of it. So micro. There's some tickers in here. I'm gonna get to the tickers, but for microcrat. I have, just based on your name, I'm assuming that you like to trade quarterly charts and yearly charts. If Microcrat is not one of these day traders, let's just for an example, not a day trader, not even a weekly trader. You got too much going on. You got kids, you got work, I got pets, I got things I like to do. I don't want to be stuck on the screens. Microcrat can watch these yearly charts. Microcrat can watch these quarterly charts and go, okay, this is where I'm getting in at. All right, this is my buy signal at 298. All right, now she probably was waiting on this thing for a long time just because Tesla was just ugh. All right, but she's like, I'm not doing anything until this thing's 2 up on the year. Show me the buyers are actually in here. Then I'll start a position in Tesla. You can absolutely do that. Same thing with the quarterly chart. Same thing with the quarterly chart. You can say, hey, 2-2 reversal back up on the quarter starts back in Q3, the third quarter, right here. Start your position at 204.50, and then as it keeps going, you can add. All right, it hits magnitude. All right, hits magnitude doesn't mean it's over. All right, but hits magnitude, did its job. All right, next next quarter opens, they take some profits, but you don't get stopped out. Does not go below 204.50 at all. Even if you had the stops put even, set even, you don't get stopped out. Again, that's easier with shares. And then keeps going, blasts through all of this. All right, and then Microcrat sitting back. Microcrat sitting back, laughing because she got in. If I put that right on top of the wick, 201.79. She's laughing at everybody who's scrambling to get in here because she started her position at 201.79, and then honestly, she just added some and just cracking up at the charts. Just watching Twitter, because no one calls it X. She's laughing at everybody on Twitter getting wrecked in here, trying to make it happen at 250, getting wrecked in here instead of just, because she trades the bigger time frames. All right. And again, I'm just assuming just based on your screen name, but that's how you can do it. You don't have to be a day trader on everything. You don't have to be, all these little ninja things. Let me get to it. I said I was going to, here's my notes. In TrendSpider, it talks about, I didn't save it. That's for SPY. If I go back to, here's my notes. Where's my notes at? Anyway, if I go back to my notes, that was one of my notes was to talk about Tesla. So that's Tesla. Here's the full time frame continuity smart checklist here in TrendSpider. Anyway, I'm rambling. Let me keep moving. That's Tesla. We said we're going to talk about Tesla. That's Tesla. So no actionable signals for next week, but no reason to get out. All right, let's look at ARM, strong arm these mugs. All right, ARM. I talked a little bit too much, so I'm going to focus on what you guys want to look at. All right, I'm going to focus on you guys. No more jibber jabber. Let's see here. Inside on the month, I'd rather see this thing, it's green, but I'd rather see a long green bar on this. It's kind of nasty. All right, let's draw the broadening formation on ARM. Let's do that. Let's do it on the week. Broadening formation on the week. I could probably do it. I always start with the month, but let's do it on the week. I can see it a little bit easier just in the moment. All right, so you can see clearly. This thing's trading sideways, all stuck in this right here. All right. Stuck in this situation. All right, trading sideways. So ARM, not completely getting killed, but it's not really like, it needs some go-go juice. All right, it needs to drink a Monster. It needs to do something. It needs to get above 155, 153.95. All right, 153. Wait a minute. All right. Let me start that over. 154.57. All right. Potential 2-2 reversal up, but I mean, honestly, it's a lot more likely to open up inside on the week next week. All right, if the pre-market doesn't affect us at all, it's going to open up inside at 147.10. All right, so be cool, just wait. Once it gets above 154.57, you can start working that thing. All right, I suggest buying shares on that because I could just looking at this and looking at ARM and what it does. I bet you these options are nasty, and so are the spreads. But if you trade a different way, that's fine. Here's your daily chart. All right, here's that daily chart. Let's look at the broadening formation one more time. I said I wasn't going to keep jibber jabbering, but I see it. I'm sorry. I'm trying to give you that value, man. You guys, I know. It's a free show. I know. But your time is also important to me. All right, I don't want you guys to waste your time sitting here watching this for a whole dang hour. All right, ARM trading sideways on the daily chart. Easy seeing that. All right, look at this. Just messing around in there. All right. Oh, let me get my vault. There you go. That's better.
Shop in here, folks.
That's better. So I mean, you got some good movement in here, but it's kind of just trading all in this. I don't have a stuck button, so I went with the chop shop button. There you go. There, ARM. Let's go to IBM, International Business Machine. If you go to trivia on the weekend here, you go to sometime tonight or something like that. You take your partner out. You guys go do trivia at the bar, and they say, "What does IBM stand for?" It stands for International Business Machine. All right. Last year during Christmas, that was a part of one of the questions during the family game, and I'm supposed to know all that stuff, so they all looked at me, and I got it wrong. So it's IBM is a burned memory into my mind right now. All right, IBM, International Business Machine. No actionable signals for next week, but hey, it's at the top of the charts at the broadening formation. All right, will this if the market does turn to the downside, will IBM be the first one to start going down? All right, it does have a shooter on the month, and that shooter goes in force at 204.44. Right now, there's buyers in there, so we'll see. All right, if you're in there, if you're in IBM, no reason to get out. You just want this thing to keep going. All right, that's what you really, really want. I don't like this. Look at this daily right here. That's what caused this situation, this wick here. All right, this shadow. People always wonder, where do these shadows come from? How come they're where you can imagine these things. You're like, well, how come what created this? Well, if you just look at it 4 time frames, you can look at this week and go, what created this wick here? Excuse me, shadow. What created this shadow? You go back to the daily chart and go, oh, that's what created it. It's right there. All right, it's right there. So no actionable signal for next week, so we're not going to put that on the weekly watch list. FedEx, give me my daggone packages, FedEx. I am sick of you, FedEx. I ordered that thing weeks ago, and when you bring it to when you bring it to my porch, don't you kick it either. I got that Ring doorbell. Don't you kick my package. Stuck in this level of reclaim right here on the weekly chart. It's trying really hard to get this up this wall of woe. It is 2-2 reversal back up on the month. 3-1-2 reversal back up on the month. I need to redo this broadening formation. Let me take this off so you can see your signal better. 3-1-2 reversal up. It is good. The magnitude is 307. Come on now, FedEx. Give me my package. Again, stuck in this level of reclaim right here. Stuck. All right. Trying to get to 307.46. All right. If you're in that, you can hold on to it. Just don't let it trade sideways, and don't let it trade against you. All right. Again, a situation like that's easier to deal with shares. Let's look at the 60-minute chart real quick on that, because here's a situation where scenario 3, all right, goes inside 3-1-2 up, and then all these bars are technically still stuck in this, but you can see how it's continuing to move up through this scenario 3. All right, this type of situation on the 60-minute chart is what you want right here on the weekly chart. That's what you want. You want this thing to keep going. All right, that's what I was saying. If it starts trading sideways, or it starts going down, starts puking, don't mess with it. All right, you want this. So how can I look at this on the weekly chart and go, oh, look at the 60. This is perfect. All right, because the strat's repetitive, and also these patterns are fractal, just like a snowflake. Snowflake, if you blow it up real big, you got the shape of the snowflake, but if you zoom in, the tiny little particles of the snowflake are the same shape as the whole snowflake. All right, get on YouTube, go down a rabbit hole. All right, Marlon B says, have a great weekend, and he says it's got to bounce. I'm glad you're leaving. I'm kidding. All right, he says, I got to go. Let me get through these last ones. XOM and Walmart. Give me XOM. XOM, no actionable signal for next week, but if you're in that, still good. I'd rather see this thing go, it's green, all right, but I'd rather see 2 up. You did have a 2-2 reversal up this week on XOM. You can still be in that if you want. Not doing a whole bunch. No actionable signal for next week. Walmart, Wally World, that's what we call it back here where I'm at, Wally World. Walmart, it is inside and up on the week. No actionable signal for next week, and it is at all-time highs. All right, I do not use extended Fibonacci's and all that crap to figure out the next target, and just made up targets. All right, this thing is at all-time highs. All right, let's go to the yearly chart again, talking about the macro crap. All right, this thing's at all-time highs. All right, no other stops to be taken out. Doesn't mean get out. It just means, hey, this thing's jammed with buyers. People like Walmart. There was a stock split. This was actually a lot more, but it's still good. All right, on the year. I see the chat rolling. I got to get through these tickers. I did a lot of talking. I know this is a free show, but there's a lot of value in this show. A lot of value. Note, hey, get your piece of paper. Watch this show again. Piece of paper. pencil, write some stuff down. I say it all the time. One of my other mentors told me, note takers are money makers. Note takers are money makers. All right. All right. Yes, it's fun. Yes, we laugh. Yeah, we laugh at the charts, but daggone it, I'm giving you that value. It's all for free right here. All right, here we go. Inside and up. That's his inside and 1-3. It's a 1-bar red strat, right? They sold it down, bought it up. Let's see here. This is brand new. This is brand new to the world. All right, Asteria. Brand new to the world, so be careful. All right, be careful. What they like to do with things that are brand new is they will pump it up, and then everybody got what they wanted out of it, and then they'll dump it. All right, no actionable signal for next week, but ALAB. You can still be in that. What the heck? Gatekeeper BWXT. What the heck is that? BWXT. What is this? It's some kind of technologies, yeah. All right, inside on the month and potential 2-2 reversal back up on the week. You can see it goes in force above 125.09. The magnitude's only 128, so you got $3 on that. So be careful on that. I don't like it. I don't like it only because look at these 60s and then look at these daily charts. But you can do that, Gatekeeper. If you want to work that, work it. All right. If you like that, go for it. I don't like. It's not a lot of magnitude, so I'm going to skip it. I'm not going to put it on the watch list. All right. Let's go with Eli Lilly, and just for everybody else. Doesn't mean Gatekeeper. That's not just for him. That's what he wanted to look at. Does that mean it's a bad stock pick? No, it would actually work if it works. But it's just not a lot of magnitude, so I'm not going to put it over here. That's all. That's all that means. All right, it's above this level of reclaim here on the week. Lilly, this thing's been all-time highs forever. All right, forever. It's got Ozempic. It's got all kind of medicine that does everything. If you got one ear bigger than the other, they got medicine that'll make it be the same size. You know, they got all kind of they got all kind of medicine. All right, but it's all stuck in this level of reclaim right here on the monthly chart. All right, all stuck in there, so be careful. Just be careful. But yes, potential 2-2 reversal back up. That could be a way in. And then again, I suggest trade shares. And the magnitude is going to be 908.31. I will put this on the weekly watch list. That's a nice magnitude. All right, DE. Again, 8X loves to trade DE. All right, right now 3 to the downside. Everything else going to the highs, and this thing is full time frame continuity to the downside, which is strange. Yeah, get out of this thing. That's what this is saying. You do have a shooter on the week. 3-2 down is not something we really want to look at, but I mean, hey, if that goes in force, it's going to take all these guys out. So DE, really looking for that downside action. It is currently 2-1-2, 2-2 reversal down on the week. Excuse me, on the month. 2-2 reversal down on the month. All right, mess. All right, John Deere not doing great. BN Cruz says thank you so much. She's got to get out of here. Thank you so much. Oh, riot. I'm sorry. Thank you. Riot. There's a riot going on. Riot. All right, riot. Let's see here. Okay, all right. So it's buyers on the month. Thank you, Britt. It's buyers on the month, and then we have a 3-3 up on the week. This is a situation where people are getting murdered in this thing. All right, they bought it up, sold it down, and then they sold it down, and they bought it up. So anybody who bought puts on this, because that shooter went in force, they got wrecked as this thing was just blasting to the highs. All right. This is why we don't want to do that. Oh, it's 50%. Start buying calls because it could be an outside week, or it could be an outside week to the upside, or outside week to the downside. Start buying, calls or puts, whatever, based, because it could be a, potential outside bar. We don't want to do that because anything gets stuck in this thing. the previous, the scenario 3, you're going to get chopped up big time. All right, big time.
Chop shop and here, folks.
You don't want to do that. All right, you want to wait for these things to to be done. All right, so riot outside the week to the upside. Honestly, if you were shorting that thing, and here's your 2-2 reversal back up. If that 2-2 reversal back up goes in force and you're shorting it, it's time to flip to the other side. It's time to cut that position and flip to the other side. All right, that's what that means. But yes, you got buyers here on the month, the week. Let's go see what it's doing on the quarter, just for funsies, and really close to going 2 up on the quarter. All right, what's it doing on the year? All right, ooh, way down there. Okay, all right. So we're looking at smaller time frames on this thing. All right, that's riot. Thank you so much, Brent. Uber, someone said Uber. Uber. Call yourself a Uber. Full-time, not. I was going to say full-time frame continuity to the downside, but your last 60 kind of saved it. But anytime these 60s were red, it was full-time frame continuity to the downside, all right? And you got a shooter on the month. It goes in force below $70.43. No, $70.15, all right? So, no, it is inside on the week. All right, we'll put that on the weekly watch list. Good move, good eyes. So we'll put that as a potential downside reversal. All right, it'll be a 2-1-2 continuation down, and that'll put the monthly shooter in force. All right, all the way down to 67. The second target will be 55. All right, there you go. Bad news this week in farming. Yeah. Yep, that is true. So what I did last week or the week before, back in October, I asked the weekly stock chart to give me a stock pick for the month, and he did. I have something even more cool. I want to say more better, but anyway, it's still cool. Anybody who contributes to the strat and just contributes to the weekend shift as a whole, I really appreciate you guys. This is Dan Ershman, the CEO of TrendSpider, giving us stock picks for this month and then for next year. All right, he's going to explain it all himself on TrendSpider. They also have a sale, 75% off on TrendSpider. All right, their Black Friday sale. Hit the link in the description. Get that thing, and once you get in there, I'll send you all my scanners, my custom scanners, the Strat Soldier. Easy setup scanner, and then the hammer time scanner that looks for hammers on a 30-minute time frame, that intraday trades, heck yeah, and then and a lot more. All right, to include if you want, I can give you all of my daggone it, why am I keeping there you go. I can give you all of my ETF watch lists if you want, and you can import them into TrendSpider and work it from there. All right, TrendSpider, great stuff. So here, let's go listen to Dan Ershman's pick of the month.
I was asked to put together a trade idea, so I'm gonna give you one that I've been watching for a little while, and I'll also give you my watch list of ideas and things that I'm looking at for next year. Right, so this is my 2025 idea list. Right, and one of them that I'm pretty interested in is Kathy Woods' ARK-K ETF. And you can, if you know how I trade, right, it shouldn't be no surprise. I always look for this type of pattern with a large initial run, a strong pullback, and then horizontal price action, during which you see a lot of volume on the volume profile, either measured from the high, or you can even go back further if you want, and you'll see the same thing. So what it's basically telling you is that big money investors, institutions, those who are moving significant size, they find this asset at this price to be valuable and are catching the falling knife, right? They're collecting the shares and they're accumulating them, right? And that absorbs the selling pressure, if any, that exists, right? And I don't know if you can kind of see this, right? But let me delete my label here and turn the arrow off, right? But it also kind of forms a bit of a cup and handle, right? Like you have this cup formation, right? You know, you can draw it a few different ways. I'm not going to spend a lot of time perfecting it, right? But then you also have this breakdown from it in this handle, right? And it pulls back, but it doesn't pull back all the way to the bottom. You know, in my view, that is valid. Let's see, what fib level does it pull back to? Oops. Right. So yeah, it like pulled back to the 50% retracement, went a little deeper at one point, right? And then the other thing that you see if you kind of zoom in here is you see a lot of blue raindrops forming down here, right? Blue raindrops are a unique kind of pattern that you can find in TrendSpider on our raindrop charts, and they suggest that the market for that period of time is on a volume-weighted basis, pricing this the same all day or all week in this case. So ARC, I think, is a really interesting one. If we look at it a little bit further out using a monthly chart, right, which is what we see here, we see that accumulation, right? If we measure that from the all-time high, we still see that accumulation, right? So that's suggesting that price is spending a lot of time there and there's a lot of transacting going on. And, you know, I think if you play this, right, if you look at the seasonality on ARC, you probably shouldn't like buy it at the end of November, right? Because December tends to be a very bad month for ARC. It's the worst month out of the year. December only closes higher than November 82% of the time. But in November, it tends to close higher than October 82% of the time over the last 10 years. So 8 out of the last 10 years, right, it closed higher than October. So I think there's a trade in there, both a short-term trade during the month of November, especially if we can get over this level here. This is about $55 here, right? 55, 56 bucks, right? I think it can definitely run for a while if you can get above that. And then I think December is going to be choppy, right? Because it seems to always be for ARC. But if it does actually get above that, right, it has strong seasonality, right, in the first half of the year, right? It only has one kind of month where it, on average, 50 doesn't close higher than the previous month more than half of the time, right? That's March, where it's a 40% chance. But the rest of the first half of the year, all the way through July, tends to be really strong. So if we see some strength in November, right, and we see some chop or maybe a red close in December, I would be watching that red close. If it's a small red close, right, you know, if it's relatively strong, you know, especially if the rest of the market isn't, that might make it a trade to look at into next year as well. But in the meanwhile, I do think that there's short-term trades that will come out of ARC. And if you kind of look at the daily chart, and let me move this over here, right? You can see, you know, it's kind of struggling up here, but it is, I mean, you could argue this is kind of forming a little bit of a head and shoulders bottom here, right? I want to see it get over and stay above this orange line, right? This is that fifth there. No, that's not. It's not on this chart, but that 55 level is like right up here, right at all-time highs. So I think there's a trade between here and there, and then there's possibly a trade above that. So that's my idea, right? I don't know if it's a good one. I'm wrong as often as I'm right, but I do think that the favorites of the COVID boom, right, 2020, 21, parts of 22, I think they're going to be the favorites of 2025 and 2026. I really do believe that. A lot of those charts, if you look at them, they're all kind of basing, right? They've all been going horizontal for a while. I mean, Palantir kind of did this exact thing, right? Like if you think about where Palantir is relative to where ARC is, right? It's not all that dissimilar of a chart. So it's possible we'll see something similar there. So hope that idea is interesting for you guys. Remember, it's probably dog shit. So I'm sorry in advance if you decide to take the idea and it doesn't go well. But that is something that...
That's what I'm talking about. That was awesome. Thank you so much, Dan. That was great. Wow. That was really cool. Thank you so much. Thank you. So we got some stuff for this month. We got some stuff for December and, you know, next year too. So Dan covered it all. And I know some of y'all were like, wait a minute, there's some cup and handles in there. There's some things. It's all right. It's all right. Dan still loves and appreciates the Strat. All right. And remember I was saying last show and the last couple shows, we definitely want to get you guys to be able to talk be able to talk with other traders that trade whatever system they trade and be able to hang with them. All right. If you're talking with someone that has 30 years experience in trading and they're showing you wedges, they're showing you all these things, you should be able to look at their chart and go, yep, and this is how I see it, and this is where I would get in it. Me and you both agree on this, and this is how we can work this thing together. That's a good stock pick because this is how I see it, even though, and that's what I'm talking about. That's how we're going to push the strat forward. All right. We're not going to waste our time with, this doesn't work and that doesn't work. And blah, blah, blah. We don't do that. All right. All right. We're moving the strat forward. COVID stocks. Heck yeah. Yep, Aaron Bailey, that's fine, man. That's fine. You're here. You checked in. Thank you so much. You're here. And it's a good show. All right. It's a good one. So go check it out. And thank you so much for everybody being here. But let me do one thing, right? Let me do one thing. If you have my weekly signals watch list, your watch list just updated on the show. All right. It just updated. So your watch list at home for the weekly watch list just updated. All right. We talked about Duke. We talked about Lilly. We talked about Microsoft. We talked about RTX. I have to say it slow. We talked about Uber. All right. All right. We talked about actionable signals. I still need to run the Strat Soldier Easy Setup Scanner. I will post that on Twitter. And so hopefully that's we get you some good things in there. Thank you, Michael O'Connor. Thank you, Jason. Thank you everybody for being here and supporting the show. And where we at? All right, here we go. There. Well, don't you do it, camera. We're going a little bit over time because I did a little bit too much teaching. And again, giving you that value. Come on, dang it. All right, that's better. Giving you that value, giving you that extra value. I know it's a free show. And thank you everybody who keeps showing up on Saturdays. I love it. You guys keep me honest. You guys make sure that I teach it right because I teach it just like the creator. And it's awesome. Get in there on thestratsoldier.com. Thestratsoldier.com. I have a webinar set up for November 13th. That's where I talk about the entire strat in one night, the whole thing. All right. Now, I'm going to be answering your questions, and there's only 10 people in there. It's a small class. That way, you get the individual attention that you deserve. All right. You paid to get in here. You're going to get every last dollar value out of that and more, and you get a recording of the webinar. All right. So the entire strat in one night. Come on now, and you get to ask questions, your specific questions, instead of just digging through or watching a recording hoping that you get what you paid for. No. Get in there. The Strat Camp webinar. Get to it. Also check out the combat load. All right, I talked about Martha. She got the combat load earlier, and that gets you everything that's on the website to include a one-on-one session with me to make sure you are on track. All right. It's not a subscription service. It is not a subscription. This is the courses. And she has access to this stuff and can go through it over and over and over and over. Ask me questions. Send me screenshots. Show me her own trades. What's working? What's not working? All right. This is not a subscription. And then when I come out with the new course and a new ebook, those are going to go in the bundle, and she'll be getting it for free. She doesn't have to pay anything additional. It's going to go into the combat load. So you can get the execution course, the strat checklist course. You can if you don't know anything about trading, you can go from zero to trading with that ebook, however you want to do it. All right, or just the Strat Camp webinar, but however you want to do it. I am providing you that value. All right, giving you what you need, stuff that's not Googleable. All right, you can't just Google this stuff. But you also have this weekend shift. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you go, that's what a buy looks like. I know. And then looking at Nike going, that's why I don't want to be in Nike. So everybody's talking about getting in on Nike at the water cooler. You can be like, not me. Nah. Anyway, thank you so much for everybody being here. Thank you. Everybody in there in the chat, thank you so much. This is Strat Soldier. Get to a point where you you have your actionable signals for next week and and you stop. All right. I not only trade the strat, I live the strat. Don't get triangled out on your personal relationships. So you might be inside bar on something, you might even be reversal down on something, but there's things that you can do to get it back to the upside. All right. This is the Strat Soldier for the weekend shift. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.